What is normal? According to the Oxford English Dictionary, normal is regular, typical, conventional, ordinary. Normal is healthy, heterosexual. Mathematically, normal is perpendicular. But what is it really? These definitions don't tell us much about society. What is healthy? What is typical? What is regular? These can mean anything depending on the society we live in, where we live, the conditions that we live in. Normal is...
I would say normal is a stereotype that hasn't actually been defined.
The word normal has really very little meaning to me. I actually think it's one of those reflexive words that refers to other things that are referent. I don't think there is a such thing as normal, but my training tells me normal means 90 degrees.
When I was younger, I heard this quote that normal is only a setting on a washing machine, and I really liked it because it just reminded me that there is no such thing as normal. That if normal is just a way you wash your clothes and like basically appliances, then what are we trying to do? What are we trying to be? We're trying to be this ideal that is completely impossible.
Normal is really, I guess, the average of what people think at any given time. It's different at all different times. Depends on where you are. It's normal in a small town to be different than something in a big city. It's something that I don't know if you can really define in exact terms.
I guess normal would be not strange or different, which like not having any abnormalities or oddities attached to it, which like being the norm, which I'm saying the same thing essentially. Biology for DNA, there's everything, or a lot of things have little mutations every once in a while, and so to have a completely normal, clean, mutation-free strand of DNA is like impossible, because no matter how much they can try to stop errors coming, it will happen every once in a while. And even if the error rate is very small, there's still a lot of work and cleaning up they have to do, and something will happen.
Well, I guess normal is whatever you want it to be. Like, everybody's different.
I'm not quite sure. I think everybody likes to think they're normal, unless someone like you likes to think they're not normal. And normal is the status quo. It's the average, I think, the way people feel. It makes them comfortable.
I think the idea of normal is really appealing in our society because we're constantly flooded with images through the media and pop culture of what celebrities are doing, and if we live up to that, then we will become popular. We will become normalized in our society. And if you don't live up to that, then you're abnormal. And abnormal is deemed to be a bad quality, and we're constantly want to just blend in with what we see around us. And in order to do that, we'll go to great lengths to accomplish this blending in and being perceived as normal.
People like acceptance. They like to be liked. I think it's there's a fundamental need not to be alone, because Darwinian drive tells us if we're alone, we're not going to do a lot of propagating, continuance of the species. So to continue the species, we can't be alone. So deep in our genetic code somewhere, it probably tells us that being alone is bad. And so society has developed in such a way that we would need to fit in with each other to not be alone.
If you're normal, the good things, like the things that are good, like if you're like a celebrity, that's a good exception to normal. But people don't want the bad exceptions to normal, where if you are abused or like part of a discriminized group or any discriminized, I don't even know if that's a word, but people don't want to be part of the bad parts of normal. So if they say that they're normal, then that at least brings them up to average, and they're not below whatever the average is.
Because they want to fit into the majority view.
So they can fit into society because they see everything on TV, read stuff like that, and they think, well, that sounds normal, I guess, so I guess I should follow what society dictates. Problem is, though, it's not really normal. It's just something that was made up by someone else, and they probably thought, oh, this is unique, and then everybody just looked at it and was like, oh, wait, that's normal.
Because they don't want to stand out. I think, or speaking from personal experiences, it's sometimes people don't want to stand out or be thought as different or weird and looked down upon. If everyone happens to be the same or act like the same, then you don't have any risk of being made fun of or picked on because you're different.
I guess I define normal in a lot of the things I do, and the way I dress and the way I act, just not going along. Like, I'm outspoken, I do really random kind of crazy things and just kind of have a good time with it instead of constantly worrying about what other people are trying to think of me. I mean, I defy what's normal for me as an individual of my background and things. In a lot of ways, just who I am. Like, I'm a Jew, but I support Palestine. That's abnormal for who I am. I'm a university student, but I'm involved in the community. That's also very abnormal. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to go to school and live in your little bubble. You're not supposed to take a bus to campus. You're not supposed to care about what's going on in the community. You're just supposed to care about the 1 block radius of your school.
I don't think so. Not least to me. Normal doesn't really exist.
I've always believed that it's weird to be normal and it's normal to be weird. I always loved that theory. Because to me it means that you can never fit in. Because there is no standard. There's nothing to compare you to. And if weird is normal and normal is weird, then everyone is equal.
I mean, the worst thing that anyone could possibly say to me is that I'm just like everybody else. That'd be the biggest insult you could come up with. Well, I just wouldn't, want to be confused with any other person. I would want to just, if I'm going to be known for something, I want to be the only one known for that. I think uniqueness is, it's like the opposite of normality, isn't it? It's in the same way that I would be insulted if someone called me the same as everyone else. I am flattered when they say I'm different from everybody else. It's kind of a black and white, yin and yang thing for me.
Personally, I think that the search for normal is kind of futile. Because if we're always trying to be something else, something that we aren't already, then we don't truly find out who we are. And we don't begin trying to figure out if there's something valid about us. We don't question the idea that maybe we don't have to change. Maybe we're perfect on our own.